Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit. Time to find out a little bit about the Blackberry Q10. Shannon Morse is here. Snubs by Twitter handle. Shannon, of course, the host of ThreatWire at youtube.com/techfeed and Hack5. And she's the producer of this very program.
Yes, and it's so much fun.
Did you ever, now I got to ask you, we've got to qualify you for this job.
I did used to have a QWERTY
You
keyboard.
used to have a QWERTY?
Yeah, I used to have a Palm.
Palm,
Way back in college.
Ever have a Blackberry of any other kind?
Never had a Blackberry.
This is your first Blackberry?
This is the first time I've actually gotten to play with a Blackberry, and I had a good time with it.
It reminds me a lot of my last phone before my first iPhone in 2007,
yes.
Blackberry Curve.
That's what I did.
They got rid of the little marble trackball in there. It's a touch screen now, but otherwise it's very similar in shape and form.
Yeah, it's still very similar. You can tell with the design of this thing. It's
a
still
Blackberry.
Beautifully curved. It still has the same curvature feature to it. It's still pretty skinny, and it feels really nice in your hand. It's lightweight, so you're not going to feel like you're, weighted down by a brick in your hand or anything like that. And I'll get to the keyboard and the screen at the end, but first I wanted to discuss the operating system a little bit. Since this was my first time messing around with it, I had a few likes, but mostly a lot of dislikes.
This is BlackBerry's new BlackBerry 10 touchscreen operating system.
Yes, it is. So as you can see, the screen is pretty small. It's only about 3 inches wide, and it's only 720 by 720.
Yeah.
So you lose quite a bit of resolution when you go with this small screen with the keyboard underneath it.
You're not going to be watching Desperate Housewives on
No,
that.
You're not. And my biggest problem with this, not only the screen size, but there's not a lot of apps available on here right now. It's really, really limited as far as what you can get for free, as well as, what game or what apps they have to purchase. And it was kind of weird when I went into the BlackBerry world. They even had a whole bunch of video and music available, and you could watch trailers on those and whatnot. And it was very easy to get to those, which was nice, so I could test out the features of the video and the speaker quality. But I was like, I don't think I'm really going to use that often. All I'm really interested in is the apps. It's also a pain in the butt to get back to the home screen. You have to go up, and then you have to go over, and then get back to all your different apps. I really wish they had included like a little home key or something like that.
Yeah, when I tried the Z10, I had the same problem. It was I guess it's what you're used to, but it's very gesture-based user interface, which is funny on a keyboard-based phone.
It's very weird for me. So they do have quite a few different things built in, but it doesn't feel like bloatware. They kept it pretty clean.
This is the AT&T version.
Yes, this is the AT&T version, and I should mention it's $199 on contract, so $200 with a 2-year contract. It's a little bit more pricey than the Verizon version of this one, but it did just release, so now AT&T users, you have this option.
And it's LTE, I'm sure.
It is LTE, yes it is. So they didn't have a lot of bloatware installed in it. They don't have that many applications available for it. The camera on this guy, though, I was messing around with that a lot. I noticed the picture quality, it's 8 megapixels, so it's not super high res, but it's pretty decent for a camera. However, in low light, it doesn't take very good pictures. They're kind of grainy. They don't look that
Twilight?
Good. Yeah, that's, yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking.
I might have that poster in my office. Don't make fun of me. I do an audio podcast about vampires. I have to have it.
That's right.
So I didn't really like the camera that much. I was able to take some video on it as well. The video looks pretty smooth. It's not too shaky or ugly, but the same problem with that. It's only 8 megapixels, so it's not super great.
And you ain't posting it to Instagram because there ain't no Instagram for Blackberry. Yeah.
I still have that problem with the applications. It's such a pain in the butt. Sound quality on this, though, was excellent as far as making calls on it. Yeah, making calls was great.
So it's a good
phone. Very clear. Yeah, very good as a phone and very good as a messenger. I was able to do tons of calls with it, no problem. Even the battery life lasted all day. I mean, like 14 hours easily.
Yeah.
So it was pretty darn good. So I was really happy about that. And it didn't take a lot to charge. Just plug it in at night, go to sleep, and you're good to go in the morning. I really like that about this as well. And I also wanted to mention the battery life is 21 megaamps per hour, which is pretty similar to
milliamp hours. It's the same as
milliamp
that.
hours.
Same
Yes.
as that.
2100 there.
21.
And I'm carrying this bulk.
And I get this for 14 hours.
Well, I got more apps.
Well, I
She's got a
more-
smaller screen.
better battery life, more hours.
So what'd you think of the keyboard?
So the keyboard, yeah, this was my favorite part. I haven't played with a keyboard since college, so it's been like, you know, well, I'm not going to say how long it's been, but I really like the feature that they raised some sides of it. I don't know if you can see this.
I
very
felt
well
like,
in here.
it's funny, I got an instant BlackBerry flashback to 2007.
Yeah.
And I think they've done a nice job doming the keys. It
I
actually
love how they
feels pretty
So
easy
they're
to
not
type.
they're not flat, so
Right.
you don't have a problem whenever you're texting people. It's really easy to find the key that you want to hit. They have a little raised knob on the D, so you can find your home keys very easily. And they also have all the extra features, you know, all your extra, there's number keys and exclamation marks and what have you. So everything's available. And when you press down on them, it's nice and sturdy. So, and there's a little bit of a click. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I
there's
can
a
hear
little
that.
bit of a click. So if you're in a classroom setting, you definitely can't text without your teacher knowing.
You can't turn that off?
You can't turn that off. No,
Oh,
that's like
it's a physical click.
That's a physical click,
Wow.
yeah. But I've gotten so used to having a on-screen keyboard that this was really weird for me, coming back to this. It was nice whenever I just wanted to text real quick and like put it down here while I'm, you know, paying attention to my fiance during
Under the table? Very good.
under the table
Yes,
at dinner
dear.
time.
Whatever you say, dear.
checking Twitter. Oh yeah, sure, sure, babe, whatever you say. But otherwise, I didn't really like the click, and it just felt so weird going back to this. It
Yeah.
felt like I was going back to the early 2000s.
Yeah.
It was tough.
Memories.
One thing that's nice about this too is you do
Removable
have
battery,
access to
yeah.
your battery, your SIM card, and there's a micro SD card.
Wow. The BlackBerry
there.
battery even looks the same as my Curve.
Oh, and you know what's weird? Is
What?
there's a micro HDMI place on the side of it.
Play
a little
movies
port.
off your BlackBerry.
Yeah, so strange.
Something the world's
Like, what in the
demanding.
world? So that was kind of cool.
I think BlackBerry fans are going to
okay.
feel like, hey, thank goodness, because
Yeah.
this is very much a BlackBerry phone.
So for me, yeah, I didn't really like it that much
Yeah.
because I've gotten so used to the Android atmosphere and iOS environment that going to a BlackBerry, I feel like I'm so limited
Right.
when I could have so much more with those other operating systems.
I had the same reaction to the Z10. It's like,
Yeah.
well, this is, it's not that it's bad, it's just that this is 2013.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll give you my pros and cons.
Okay.
Of course, the Pro, well-designed keyboard, solid weight and feel. Really, really like the feel of this and the fact that it's relatively weightless. The cons on it, though, are the camera quality just stinks. I really don't like the camera. Really tiny screen, I can't get over that. And limited apps. There's not a lot of apps available with the BlackBerry. So overall, honestly, I gave it a don't buy just because this definitely doesn't go for everybody. It's not something that I would choose and that I would pay for with my money. I would definitely choose something in the Android or iOS environments. But if you really need a texting one, and you
Well,
aren't too worried about all the applications that you can get, you could probably buy this. and be
Steve
happy
Gibson's a
with it.
big BlackBerry fan, and he went out and bought that right away, and he sent it back. And the
Really?
reason is, yeah, because it doesn't have that trackball, doesn't have a good pointing method.
Yeah.
He says BlackBerry 10 is fine, but the touchscreen doesn't work in this kind of
Yeah.
keyboardish environment, and he was unhappy. Now, he's a BlackBerry fanatic, so even BlackBerry fans might be a little bit disappointed by the Q10.
See, that's good to hear because I was kind of like, should I give this a try? Just because I know a lot of BlackBerry fans will want to try
They
this.
want
out and be
this phone.
happy
I
with it.
wanted it. I was
But
excited,
it
but
sounds
I don't
like
think.
nobody.
I think you're right.
It doesn't really hit everybody's
No, I
target
think you're
market.
right. I think you're right. I don't
well.
buy, unfortunately, for the BlackBerry. Q10, not much of a surprise, really.
Yeah.